The sun had just set over Lagos, and the city's rhythm shifted into its usual evening hustle, horns blaring, downforce shouting for passengers, street hawkers weaving goods. Inside a small cafe tucked in Suralere, Amoka stirred her tea absent-mindedly while her eyes remained fixed on her phone screen. Her thumb scrolled through Instagram stories, pausing on a video of 3 young women clinking champagne glasses at a high-rise rooftop in Victoria Island. Their makeup glistened under neon lights, their gowns hugged their bodies perfectly, and the comments beneath were filled with admiration. "Look at this one," Amoka muttered, tilting the screen toward Toyin. "She's not even smart. I know her from school, she barely passed. But see her life. Louis Vuitton bag, Dubai last month, and now this party." Toyin leaned closer, chewing slowly on her meat pie. "She has connections, Amoka. That's all. We don't. But why them and not us?" Amoka asked, her voice tightening. "We are just as beautiful. We are just as capable. The difference is, they belong, and we don't." Toyin sighed. She was used to Amoka's hunger for more, but lately, the fire in her voice had turned into desperation. "We have jobs, Amoka. We are surviving. Maybe that's enough." Amoka shook her head firmly. "Surviving isn't enough. I want to live." And that night, as they walked back through their dusty neighborhood streets with their handbags clutched tight against their sides, Amoka whispered, "We can't keep living like nobodies. I want more. Don't you?" 2 weeks later, they put their first plan into action. If they couldn't change their lives overnight, they could at least look the part. At a boutique in Lekki, Amoka toured in front of a mirror wearing a sequin gown that shimmered under the fluorescent lights. "This one makes me look like money," she said, her lips curving into a smile. "Do you know how much it cost?" Toyin whispered nervously. Amoka grinned. "Relax. They rent it out for the night. We don't need to buy, just borrow. Nobody will know." They rented gowns, borrowed handbags, and watched endless YouTube tutorials on how to apply flawless makeup. On the night of their debut, Amoka curled Toyin's hair while Toyin carefully applied lipstick on Amoka. Both trembled with nervous energy. "Are we really doing this?" Toyin asked. Amoka met her eyes in the mirror. "Yes. Tonight, we walk into that rooftop party as though we were born to be there." At the venue, the city skyline glittered behind them as they stepped onto the rooftop. Music boomed, men in designer suits laughed loudly, and women with diamonds dripping from their ears sipped champagne as though it were water. Heads turned. Cameras clicked. Amoka's confidence rose instantly. She whispered to Toyin, "Look around. They already think we belong." And Toyin, though her heart pounded, smiled as if she believed it too. Toyin hesitated, then finally nodded. "Yes. I do." They repeated the game several times, attending events, blending in, snapping photos near luxury cars, and uploading every picture online. Slowly, their names began to circulate. One night, after another glittering party, a popular influencer slid into Amoka's DMs, "Come through tomorrow. Private dinner. Only the elite. Dress well." At the dinner, chandeliers sparkled above tables set with crystal glassware. Men wore tailored tuxedos, women draped themselves in designer gowns worth more than a year's rent. The air smelled of perfume, wealth, and quiet power. As Amoka and Toyin entered, they felt eyes scanning them. "Who are they?" someone whispered. "New faces. Fresh blood," another murmured. They kept their heads high, sipping wine they could barely pronounce. At the end of the night, an elegant woman approached them. She was tall, flawless, and commanding. Her name carried weight in Lagos, Madame Bianca. Her voice was smooth but sharp. "You're ambitious girls. I can see it. But tell me, do you want to really belong here?" Amoka's answer was immediate. Yes. Toyin, quieter, simply nodded. Bianca smiled knowingly. Then be ready. Belonging isn't free. Their test came sooner than expected. At a private club in Ikoyi, the music was softer, the atmosphere darker, the men older and more powerful. These weren't influencers or party boys. They were businessmen, politicians, and decision-makers who could open doors or close them permanently. Bianca welcomed them with a cold smile. Tonight, you prove yourselves. Toyin shifted uncomfortably. Prove ourselves how? Bianca's eyes narrowed. Don't play innocent. You're not children. Belonging means loyalty, and loyalty comes with sacrifice. Minutes later, Toyin and Amoka were seated beside men twice their age, men who whispered promises of trips abroad, apartments in Lekki, and cars with leather seats, if the girls were willing to spend time with them. Toyin froze. Her body trembled. Amoka, I can't. Amoka leaned close, her nails digging into Toyin's hand. Do you want to go back to being nobody? Just smile. It's only one night. And with that, Toyin followed her into the shadows of compromise. They left that night with purses full of cash and souls heavy with guilt. Weeks turned into months, and their lives glittered like never before. Amoka now wore genuine designer clothes, no longer rented. Toyin's Instagram overflowed with pictures of her sipping cocktails in Dubai, strolling through Paris, and posing in Cape Town, all funded by powerful men. The world watched, envied, and praised. Goals, one comment read. Teach us your ways, sis, another begged. Amoka thrived. She strutted with pride, her laugh louder, her head higher. Toyin, however, grew quieter. At night, when the camera stopped flashing and the music faded, she lay awake, her chest tight with regret. This isn't us, she whispered one night. Amoka, sprawled on silk sheets, shrugged. It's who we are now. Get used to it. The more they climbed, the clearer it became, they were outsiders. At a lavish pool party, a woman with diamonds hanging from her ears smirked as Amoka walked past. Wannabes, she muttered loudly enough for everyone to hear. Laughter followed. Amoka's cheeks burned, but she forced a smile. Later, she told Toyin, we just need to work harder, show them we're not temporary. So they spent more money than they had, accepted riskier offers, and pushed further into the dangerous game. But whispers never stopped. They were never equals, only entertainment. One evening, Toyin discovered what she feared most. She had fallen in love, or thought she had, with a wealthy benefactor who promised her exclusivity. But one night, arriving early to his mansion, she opened the door to find Amoka in his arms. Her world shattered. You knew. Toyin screamed, her voice cracking. You knew I loved him. Amoka's eyes flashed with annoyance, not guilt. Love. Don't be stupid. There's no love here, Toyin. Only survival. If you can't handle it, step aside. The friendship that had weathered years of hardship cracked beyond repair. Their luck turned. A scandal broke. One of their most generous benefactors, a politician, was exposed in a massive corruption case. His face filled the news. Alongside his leaked photos of Amoka and Toyin appeared. Their glamorous images turned into weapons. Headlines labeled them side women. Talk shows mocked them. Family members stopped answering calls. Jobs disappeared. Even walking down the street, they heard whispers, that's her. That's the girl from the scandal. The world they fought to enter now chewed them up and spat them out. Amoka refused to let go. We can bounce back, she told Toyin. We just need new connections. Bigger men. Riskier deals. Toyin begged her to stop. It's over, Amoka. We should walk away before it destroys us completely. But Amoka's hunger was insatiable. She mingled with dangerous men, men whose power came from the shadows. One night, she left for a hotel and never came back. Days later, Toyin saw the headline, "Young woman found lifeless in Ikoyi hotel room." It was a mocker. Toyin collapsed, screaming until her voice broke. The cost of belonging had claimed her best friend's life. The burial was small, hushed, and filled with whispers. People who had once admired Amoka online now gossiped about her downfall. Toyin stood by the grave, her hands trembling, tears soaking her face. "We just wanted to belong," she whispered, "but we lost everything." As mourners left, Toyin remained alone. She opened her phone, notifications still buzzing from followers who continued to envy pictures taken weeks ago. Pictures of fake smiles and borrowed happiness. She deleted the account. Walking away from the grave, Toyin felt empty, broken, but alive. She had lost her best friend, her dignity, and her peace, but somewhere deep inside, she knew she could start again. She didn't need to belong to them. She needed to belong to herself.